Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to Trego, Kansas, home of the Trego Golden Eagles, as we are here for Nex-Tech game time on Nex-Tech Local 1. We're at his first round of playoffs. The Trego Golden Eagles taking on the St. Francis Indians. I'm Tate Reynolds here tonight covering tonight's game time on Nex-Tech, as tonight we have ourselves a battle. We have an undefeated #1 district winner, the Trego Golden Eagles, taking on the #4 seed from the District 8, the St. Francis Indians. So first off, we're going to talk about the Trego Golden Eagles. They're undefeated on the year, 384 total points scored and only allowing 118. They've averaged 48 points a game, a stellar number for 8-man football, and they've only given up 14.7 points per game. And they have had an excellent season offensively and defensively on the ball. So let's talk about some of the stars for Trego. First off, their senior quarterback, Ashton Wynn. He's had a terrific season this so far. 59% throwing throughout the year, 59 of 99, that is. He's thrown 785 yards, 13 touchdowns with only 4 interceptions, having a great season. He averages 98 yards per game through the air, but he also rushes the ball, 64 carries for 468 rushing yards and 11 rushing touchdowns. He has 1,200 yards total with 24 total touchdowns if you do the math. Another star for Trego you're going to want to watch out for tonight is Jack Connis. He's their star running back, 114 carries on the year, 882 rushing yards. He averages 7 yards per carry, a great number in 8-man football. He also has 110 receiving yards. He's not quite the receiving threat. We'll get to those here in just a little bit. But he averages 128 all-purpose yards throughout each game. Aaron Sampson's going to be the star receiver here for Trego Golden Eagles. 20 receptions for 274 yards. He averages 34 yards per game, and he stacked up 4 touchdowns on the year. So Trego's offense, they're going to be a powerful offense. They have plenty of stars that St. Francis is going to have to look out for tonight. And that's kind of what puts the pressure on these defenses, is they're going to have to focus on some of those stars and be able to compete with them, especially having such a strong offensive team that Trego has. So now we'll move on to their defense. They're a very fast and aggressive defense. They allow just 14 points per game, like I said earlier. They got the two-way leadership from Wynn and Sampson, both of them having tremendous seasons. Ashton Wynn with 101 total tackles, 2 tackles for losses, and 3 interceptions. But the leader in tackles is Cass Smith. He has 109 tackles on the season. Aaron Sampson leads the team in sacks at 7.5 on the year. So now let's move over to the St. Francis Indians. They come out of District 7 with a 5-3 record, having an excellent year. As they went 5-3 in District 8, they got the #4 seed, having to come up to Waukene to play the Trego Golden Eagles. They scored 283 points this season, only allowing 156, averaged 35 points per game, and only averaged 19.5 points allowed. So let's start with their stars. Quarterback Lucas Rayleigh, only playing 5 games this year. He's 67 for 109 passing for 61% completion rate, 810 yards, 10 touchdowns, and only 1 interception on the season. 162 yards per game is what he tallies up through the air, but he also adds 39 carries for 219 rushing yards, averaging 43 yards per game with 5 rushing touchdowns. He's got 15 total touchdowns in those 5 games. If you put that into perspective, he missed 3 games of the year. He possibly has 20 to 22 by the end of the season if he plays all 8 games. Another player, Lane Todd, a senior running back, 79 carries, 533 yards, and 9 rushing touchdowns on the year, adding 7 receptions to that with 41 yards. He's the reliable running back that likes to run between the tackles and get yards for the St. Francis Indians. Now looking at their defensive side, they have a great defensive team leader with 76 tackles. That's senior Joel Gillian. He averages 9.5 tackles per game. He also adds 2 interceptions and 2 forced fumbles. Ethan Graham, another senior, 71 tackles and 2 interceptions on the season. Dayton Fromholtz is also going to be a two-way player that the St. Francis Indians are going to use tonight. 67 tackles, 5.5 sacks, and 6 forced fumbles on the year. And if we look at his offensive stats, he has 35 receptions for 472 yards and 59 yards per game with 5 touchdowns. He's a physical receiver, and he's going to be one to watch out here for the Trego defense. But their defense overall, it's a veteran group, lots of seniors coming out here for the Indians, and it's going to be a good game tonight. Winner of this one is going to take on either the Kinsley Coyotes, because I have to pull up my bracket here, either going to take on the Kinsley Coyote or the Kiowa County team from down south. and that's going to be a great game no matter what. So here on Nex-Tech Local 1, it's Nex-Tech game time, and it's the first round of playoffs, and we're glad you can join us here with this. So we will be back with the start of the game here on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Well, Traxton Maley's been out a little bit and been out for a couple of weeks, hurt his knee. Hopefully we can get him back and we can win some games. Otherwise, we're pretty healthy. We lost a corner in the middle of the season who's back, so our depth at corner and wideouts really back to normal. So knock on wood, health-wise, we're pretty good.
Do you kind of wish you had some of those tougher teams towards the end, or how's that going?
Yes and no. It's you'd like to stay competitive the whole time, but my kids have really done a nice job of maintaining their focus and not overlooking anybody and not letting, not slopping through practices because they could be. But we've been challenging them the fact that you can't do that, because if you don't get better every day, if you don't get better every week, then somebody's going to get you at the end, and it has to be an every week thing and an everyday thing. And truly, these kids have been doing that. It's pretty impressive by them.
Okay. Do you sometimes wish that? I mean, it's basically the same question, I guess, but you're not playing those 4 quarters.
That scares me. That part scares me, because I believe when we played Wichita County, that hurt them a little bit at the end of that game, because we'd played 3 games that were full games, and that scares me a little bit, and it's always a challenge, because you want to get JV kids in, because we've been losing JV games all year because of numbers of other people, and you always want to get kids in, but at the same time you have to play as hard as you can, as long as you can, so that part always is a challenge, always scary, and I got the benefit here of being in charge of the weight room also, and that helps too, that I can really, the conditioning part, I can really work during that part of it also, but it does scare you, because again, that part gets me. I wish for that reason that we'd had, to go back on the last question, to a little bit more times, longer games, so we could have, just for the conditioning part and the focus part, and not trying to be done. Let's see if we can get done at halftime, kind of thing. So
you've said that every time I've talked to you this year, that you feel like your kids are razor focused.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you guys are peaking at the right time to go into postseason here?
I hope we haven't peaked, to be honest with you. I mean, because they keep getting better. They keep coming to work. They keep looking at me in the locker room and shaking their head and saying, yes, let's go. And I'm giving them a pregame speech on Mondays when we're doing our prep stuff, and telling them how important it is to be focused, and they're listening to me. They're looking at me and they're understanding it, and so they've been here. These seniors have been playing since they were freshmen, and they've been in the playoffs and haven't had a lot of success there, but it's not for any other. But they understand that. They understand that they have to get better every day, and so I feel like we're playing better. I don't think there's been one week that we haven't. I can come up with one practice all year where I felt like afterwards I thought we did not get better, and then the next day they knew it, and they corrected that. So I thought we got better every week, even with the competition we were having. We didn't let that affect us, and so I feel like we have gotten better, and we're playing better now than we were week 1 and week 4 and week 6. So, and that's all I can ask. That's all I can expect from them. So.
Sure. What do you know about St. Francis?
I know that their offense is always troubled. It's going to be hard for everybody that plays them, because of they'll spread it out. They'll throw the football, and they throw it really well. There's a couple different guys throwing the football to them. Got nice receivers, and defensively they play hard. So it's a little bit of challenge, just because and once again, here they've won 5 games. It's not like, I looked at it today. We're playing the as number 1 seeds of the winners of the district. We have the only team with a winning record in the whole state 8-man football that's playing a number 4 seed, or a number 4 team out of their district, and they came out of a good district. It's not like they came out of a weak sister league district. They came out of a good district, and their 4th place team, and that was right on the edge of being 3rd place team. And so Yeah, it'll be a challenge. They got good skill guys, coached really well. They were at our jamboree, and he's coaching 100 mile an hour the whole time. So I know they're getting better. I know they're better. So yeah, they're going to be tough. It'll be a good competition for us.
Okay, where do you think the teams, when they come into play, you guys? You mentioned your skill players. The Conas kid, the Win kid, all that kind of stuff. But where do they underestimate you guys?
I think up front maybe, and the fact that. We're pretty balanced. We try to run the ball and throw the balls effectively, and I think they underestimate that. And then I think we're a pretty physical football team this year, and I think that's also hard to simulate in practice. That's hard for teams to be ready for, and I think it's not true at any level. The most physical football team is probably a team that's going to win, and we preach that to them. And I think that's hard for teams a lot of times when they come in to just be hit and hit and hit and hit. It is for us. It is the same thing with us. If somebody's physical with us, hey, we know it's going to be a battle, and then it turns into will. Who has the will to win this? Who has the will to sustain this? Because eventually somebody's going to have to quit. They aren't going to just physically stop, but they're going to quit hitting as hard. They're going to, because they're getting hit and that kind of stuff. So I hope it's our physicalness. I believe that my kids believe that and think that, and so, but it's because it's hard to show that in practice. It's hard to be that.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time Boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
And welcome everybody here to Waukene, Kansas, home of the Trego Golden Eagles, as we are here for Week 9 of 8-man Division I football. As it is game time here in Waukene, the Trego Golden Eagles taking on the 4th seed from District 8. That is the St. Francis Indians. Tonight's matchup is going to be a good one, folks. The winner of this one will take on either the Division 6 number 2 seed, the Kinsley Coyotes, or Kiowa County out of District 5 as the 3 seed. Trego undefeated on the season, 8-0, as they have the 1 seed in District 7, taking on the 4 seed from a tough District 8, St. Francis, who has a 5-3 record. We'll take a look at that bracket right after kickoff, but for now, the Golden Eagles coming out on their home field, undefeated at home, undefeated away. And as they are wearing the purple uniforms with the gold numbers, St. Francis is going to have on the white uniforms with the green numbers. Head coach for the Trego Golden Eagles is head coach Pat Haxton, as he's assisted by Taylor Haxton and Keegan Schubert. Head coach for St. Francis, Coach Grant Wiegers, assisted by Jairo Rodriguez. So we are just about underway as we're going to have a kickoff here from St. Francis, as it's going to be Trego's ball to start off this contest here in Waukene. Playoff football here in 8-man Division I here in the state of Kansas. It's going to be a fun start to the playoff season. So St. Francis is going to be, like I said, kicking off the ball, as that appears to be number 35 for the Indians. That is Kobe Morbley, a 6'3", 185 senior, as he will kick off to 2 dangerous returnmen for the Golden Eagles, as the kickoff will happen from the 30-yard line, as they're waiting for the refs to give the okay to get underway. As the music stops in the press box and we're ready, here's the kick from Mobley. It's going to be up in the air, and it's going to be caught right at about the 7-yard line. Here comes the return. It's going to be Ashton Wynn, who we'll talk about tonight. Flag down on the play. He's still fighting for yards, and he comes down at about the 25-yard line, as we'll get the flag here in a sec. Let's take a look at our bracket really fast, as the bracket on the right side of the screen is going to be the western side of Kansas, and the left side will be the eastern side. So we'll take a look there at the Trego and St. Francis. That matchup's going to be either Kinsley or Kiowa County, depending on who wins that. And then some close games. Hill City and La Crosse going to be starting here at the same time over there in Hill City. That's Division 8, number 1 seed against the Division 7, number 4. And then Oxford and Sublette will take on the winner of that. Wichita County and Rollins County taking on one another tonight. That's another local game. And then Decatur Community and Ellis taking on one another for our local games. That winner of that game will take on either South Central or Spearville. The winner of Wichita County, Rollins County will take on either Meade or Skyline. So Trego is going to start off with the ball. The flag was on the Golden Eagles, so it is actually going to be their ball around the 10-yard line. So Wynn's going to be under center to start off the ball game. It's going to be a hand up right up the middle to Jack Connis, who has space, breaks a couple tackles, and he's going to get a first down right across the 20-yard line to the 21. And quickly, the Golden Eagles with a quick first down as Jack Connis, he's had an excellent year so far. We kind of talked about him a little bit pregame as Connis rushing on the year. He's played all 8 games, carried the ball 114 times for a total of 882 yards. He averages about 7.7 yards a carry, which is great. That's what a head coach likes to see. As Wynn's going to be under center once again. One man's going to be spread out to the far right. I believe that's Aschenbrenner. Connis is a single man in the backfield. Here comes a motion. Now there's 2 on the far side. Wynn with the hard count. He's going to throw it out to Connis. Connis with space. He's going to get another first down, trudging across the 35. Flag comes down on the play, but they're going to call him down around the 40, about the 36-yard line. Flag's going to be behind the play, so the white hat ref appears. Let's see what he's going to call. He's going to call, I think it was a holding on Trego, so that's going to back him up. That'll wipe away that first down. So Trego, Coach Pat Haxton coming out to Jack Connis quickly here, 2 consecutive plays. He gets 2 first downs, but the second one's going to come back after quick 2 flags on the Trego Golden Eagles here in the beginning of the game. One came on the opening kickoff. This one on the second play from scrimmage. It's going to back them up to a first down. And 20 is now, they're back at the 10-yard line. Well, we'll call it from the 12-yard line. So probably a first down, 19 to 20 yards. That 19, 20 yards, it doesn't seem that, it seems like a far ways away, but this Trego offense, they know how to get those yards back quick. We've already seen Connis with a nice 11-yard gain to start off the game. Let's see what they go here, see if they're going to decide to air it out or not. This time they're going to have shotgun with 2 in the backfield, 4 down linemen, and 1 spread out to the near side. Here's the snap. Wynn's going to take it off. It's an option play, but he's going to get smothered by the St. Francis defensive line. He's going to get maybe back to the line of scrimmage. The Indians' numbers are awfully hard to see. I'm trying to get the tackles. I'd like to say that's number 12 for the Indians who made the tackle. If it is, that's Dayton Fromholtz, who's going to be an offensive specialist for the Indians. He's actually had a pretty good season on defense as well, as we talked a little bit about pregame. So now it's a first down, and we'll call it 17 yards now for the Golden Eagles. They're going to be in an I formation with a man spread out to the near side. Here's a snap. It's going to be a play action. Wynn looking to pass. He's going to throw it off to Connis. He's going to get back to the 10-yard post, and it's going to be a clock running third down here from the 22-yard line. They need to make it to the 31 for a first down, so it's going to be a 3rd down and 9 here for the Golden Eagle offense. Connis isn't much of a receiving threat, but throughout the season they've used him occasionally through the air, and it's helped him out. As the Eagles in shotgun for this 3rd down and 9 on their first possession of the ball game. Wynn back to pass. He's going to throw it. It's going to be incomplete, as this one is going to be intended for Trego's number 21. That was Aschenbrenner, I believe. And it's going to be a 4th down and 9. St. Francis's defense coming up nice here in the first drive of the game, only allowing 1 first down. But Trego having a flag that backed him up to make it a first down and 20 kind of stopped this drive in its tracks. As the Indians now back to return. Here comes the punt. It's coming from Bladen Crawford. This punt's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be right at midfield. So St. Francis is going to start off with really good field positioning on their first drive of the game, as their offense is led by number 1, Lucas Riley, who's a 5'11", 225 senior. He's had a great season so far, completing 61% of his passes for a total of 810 yards. Only one interception on the season for Riley, and that's saying something for as many times he's passed the ball. But this Trego defense might have something to say about that. So first down and 10 Indians from the 37-yard line. Riley's going to be in the shotgun. Here's the snap. He's going to take it for the quarterback draw, right up the middle, gets a few yards, and multiple Eagles are there to stop him. It's going to be called maybe a second down and 6 or 7 yards coming up here. So it is going to be a second down and 6. So now in the shotgun, Trego bringing 3 men down on the line of scrimmage on the defensive side. Here's a snap. It's going to be another quarterback draw. He's going to bring it out here to the near side, across the 30, across the 20, and he's going to go out of bounds. This rush by number 21 of St. Francis. That's Lane Todd, who's the leading rusher for the Indians. 533 total yards in the game, averages 66 yards a game, and that's a fresh set of downs. As at the 20-yard line now, the Indians, really good field positioning to start off at the 37. They're taking advantage of it. And to get early points on this Trego defense would be huge for the Indians and Coach Grant Weigers. It's going to be another shotgun play here on this fresh set of downs at the 20. 1 man in the backfield, 1 spread out to the right side, as that is Martel Obrecht. It's going to be a handoff. It's going to be up the middle and taken down by the shoelaces. It's going to be a second down and short. That rush once again by Zylis Martinez, his first rush of the night. He's a 5'10", 135-pound sophomore, and an excellent tackle there by Trego's Ashton Wynn. So second down, and we'll call it 2 yards now for St. Francis as they're knocking on the door in the red zone. It's going to be another shotgun play. Here's the snap. It's Martinez, it's going to be taken down in the backfield. That rush come from Lane Todd in the Wildcat, and a huge loss. That's going to back him up to make it a third down and long. Let's take a look at this. Excellent tackling. Todd almost got away from it, but that's Trego's number 21, Jared Aschenbrenner, with a huge stop. That backs him up all the way down to a third down and 9. As the Indians getting the call from Coach Weiger, still in the huddle here. So ball at the 19-yard line. They need to make it to the 10 for a first down. This time the Indians are going to spread it out. 2 men spread out to the right, 1 to the left, 4 down linemen, and here's the snap. It's going to be Martinez passed over and caught. It's going to be short of a first down, right across the 15-yard line to the 14, as it was caught by St. Francis's number 13, Ethan Graham. As good pressure from Trego, but St. Francis's Silas Martinez does a great job getting it out quick. Graham has 31 receptions, 414 yards on the season. He averages the most on the team at 51 yards a game. 4th down and call it a long 4. Martinez in the shotgun. And there's going to be a flag. That's going to be a false start. That one's going to go on number 12 of St. Francis. That's Dayton Fromholtz. That's going to back him up. And that's going to make that 4th down just a little bit tougher for the Indians now, as that's going to back them up to make it back to a 4th down and 9 from the 19-yard line. Once again, they still need to get to the 10 for a first down. This could be a huge stop for the Golden Eagles. Let's see what Coach Weigers decides to call here. The pass game got a few yards on this drive. Let's see if he goes back to it. He's going to have 1 man spread out to the right. Martinez in the backfield. Now they send Todd to the wing man at the left. Martinez back to pass. He's going to throw it up on the slant route. It's intercepted As here comes Trego's number 1, Bladen Crawford. He's going to take it all the way across the 20, the 10, touchdown Trego. A huge pick 6 for the freshman, Bladen Crawford. There is a penalty marker all the way down on the other side of the field at the 19. And let's see what this is going to be called. The refs are staying on the far side of the field, so it looks like it's going to be on St. Francis. And this one's going to stand as a touchdown, a pick 6 coming from the 6', 175-pound freshman Bladen Crawford. And it's a 6-0 ball game in favor of the Golden Eagles. What a play Crawford read. It was just a slant route. I think it was intended for Dayton Fromholtz. And it didn't fool Crawford at all as Trego, they're redeeming themselves from that first drive. So here comes the 2-point conversion. It's going to be an I formation for Ashton Wynn. Wynn's going to hand it right up the middle for big man Jack Connis, and he's going to walk into the end zone for 2 points. It's an 8-0 ball game. Trego takes the lead here in the first quarter as we still have 5:48 left in the first. As it's Jack Connis with the 2 and a pick 6 from Bladen Crawford to start off the game. We'll take a break and we'll be back with you here in a sec. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Waukeeny Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Waukeeny Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason. A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles.
And welcome back. Bladen Crawford with a 61-yard pick 6, and Jack Connis, number 22 for Trego, pounds in the 2-point conversion, makes an 8-0 ball game as the kickoff from Trego heads into the end zone for a touchback. As Trego's offense had 1 first down and then went 3 and out after that 1 first down, gave the ball back to St. Francis in really good field positioning, and then St. Francis threw a pick 6 on around the 20-yard line for a 61-yard return from Bladen Crawford. Now St. Francis has a chance to redeem themselves. This time they're starting in not as good field position as they did their first drive, this time at the 15. As Martinez is going to be back in the shotgun with a man spread out right. Martinez is going to take it up the middle all by himself, where he's going to get taken down, call it a gain of 5 or a long 4. It'll be a 2nd down and 6. Crowd getting some cheers on early as we're right along Highway 283. There's semis going by honking their horns as usual. So a 2nd down and 6 coming up here for the Indians. Trego with that 3-man defensive front. This time the Indians are going to spread things out. A slot man to the right with 2 total men and 1 to the left. As Martinez is going to motion over Ethan Graham. He's going to take it himself on the fake, and he's going to lose yardage. A loss of 1. Now it's going to be a 3rd down and 7 for the Indians. So Trego's number 7, Aaron Sampson, was the one that kind of broke up the play to cause it. He didn't get counted with the tackle, but he's the one that definitely caused a loss of yardage. 3rd down and 7, shotgun for Martinez. It's going to be a pistol formation with a receiver spread out to the near side of the field. Here's a snap. Martinez going to maybe miscommunicate the handoff, and it's going to be a big loss. Going to bring him back behind the 10-yard marker, and it's going to be a 4th down and long now for the Indians. I think there might have been some miscommunication on the handoff, whether it was an option play or if it was supposed to go. That was actually Lane Todd on the rush, as Martinez must have gave it up. So now the Indians look like they're going to punt it away to this dangerous Trego offense. This punt is blocked. It's going to be touched and downed inside of St. Francis territory at the 36-yard line, and that's where Trego is going to have their second possession on offense. Much better field positioning this time around, as the first time they started out all the way back at the 10-yard line after a flag on the kickoff. This time they're in Indian territory with a chance to make St. Francis pay on this 8-0 ball game here in the first round 8-man Division I playoffs. 3:49 left in this first quarter, as Haxton might be questioning where he's saying the ball was touched a little bit back behind the 36-yard line, I think. So, yeah, they're going to say it was touched, and it's going to be right past the 30-yard line now. So that punt is going to go for, we'll call it 16 net yards on that punt. So I formation now for Wynn. He's going to have Aschenbrenner spread out here to the near side. It's going to be handoff right up the middle for Connis. Connis going to fight for some yards, and he's going to get maybe a gain of, we'll call it 3 yards, and it'll be a 2nd down and 7 now. So this Trego offense, they've had an excellent year on offense, scoring 384 points, only allowing 118 on defense. They average 48 points a game. And they've had an excellent season between their 3 big stars, Wynn, Connis, and Crawford helping out tonight. Here's the I formation on the 2nd down and 7. It's going to be pitched out to Connis. He's going to get wrapped up around the 30, breaks the tackle, still fighting. And he's going to get taken down at the 26-yard line, where it's going to be, call it a 3rd down and a long 5 now. As if you're Trego, you're going to keep on feeding Jack Connis. He's 118 yards away from hitting 1,000 throughout the year on the ground. Averages 110 per game and 5 scores. There was a flag. It was a face mask on St. Francis. So that's going to improve Trego's ball positioning here all the way up to the 13-yard line. And if you're St. Francis, one thing you don't want to do is help out this Trego offense and give them more yards. So ball at the 13. Joaquini's going to break the huddle. They're going to have one man spread right, as that's Cass Smith, along with Crawford off to the left. In the backfield is Connis. Wynn to pass. He's going to throw a quick pass out intended for Crawford, but it's going to sail out of bounds. It's going to be a 2nd down and 10. So I believe that was the first pass play for the Golden Eagles in this contest. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight here at 8-man Division I playoffs, Week 9. Winner of this game is going to take on either Kinsley or Kiowa County, depending on how that game goes on in Kinsley. Shotgun. It's going to be Wynn faking the handoff. He's going to take it up inside the 5. Touchdown, carrying a man with him. And Trego now with a 2-possession lead. It is 14-0 Golden Eagles. Excellent fake. He had a chance to go out to Connis if he needed to, but the defensive end kind of blocked it off as Wynn carries Lane Todd into the end zone. And now a pick 6 is how this game started from Trego, from Vladen Crawford, and now Wynn gets another touchdown on his excellent year. 2-point conversion is going to be a shotgun with one man spread out each side and Connis in the backfield. It's going to be a pass from Wynn, rolls right, throws it right up the middle. It's going to be picked off in the end zone. And that will be a no-good 2-point conversion. It's going to be a 14-0 ball game. Trego on top of St. Francis here in Week 9 playoffs of 8-man Division I. We'll take a break. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters. Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Waukene Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Waukene Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
And welcome back. It's 14-0 Golden Eagles as Wynn's going to kick it off after scoring the last touchdown, and it's going to soar through the end zone. So a pick six from Vladen Crawford is how this game started. Put it at 6-0. Connis put in the 2-point conversion. And then also it was a second drive touchdown coming from the Golden Eagles. Quarterback Ashton Wynn with the 2-point conversion was no good. So we're here in Waukene for this playoff action here in the new and approved press box, as they now have Golden Eagles on top of this press box. And it's awfully cool addition, and they're awfully proud of it here in Trego, as I would be too. If you ever drive by 283 past the football field, check it out. It's a nice addition to this press box. Here's Martinez. He's going to be back to pass on this first down at 10. He's going to get sacked in the backfield as this possession started at 15, and now it's backed all the way down to the 10. As that was Cass Smith with the sack. And it's going to be a long second down and 15. So a huge sack there from Cass Smith. It's going to be a second down and 15. As it's going to be Martinez in the shotgun, Todd in the backfield in the pistol, one man spread out deep right. It's going to be a fake. Martinez is going to take it up the middle, and he's going to get clobbered up inside the 10, now at the 9. As I like to say, actually, that was Lane Todd on the keeper, excuse me, as he loses a yard. Now it's going to be a third down and 16. So good job by this Trego defense. They've held the Indians back a couple times on 2 drives, especially after they had to punt on their first. Third down and long. They're going to have 2 receivers, 1 each way, as Martinez in the backfield with Todd. 4-man offensive front, 3-man defensive front from the Eagles. Back to pass is Martinez. He's going to throw a pass. It was intended for Wyatt Klinsman, the 5'7", 175-pound junior, but it was thrown way behind him. I'm not sure if maybe Klinsman if he ran the wrong route, or if Martinez might have thought that he was going to run that route. Not sure, but either way, it's going to be a fourth down and long, and the Indians are going to be forced to kick it off once again with a dangerous Ashton Wynn at the midfield Golden Eagle to return. I believe this is Todd back there to punt for the Indians. Last one was blocked. This one's up in the air. It's going to make it right past midfield and bounce out of bounds at the 38-yard line in Trego territory. So Trego 1 for 2 on offensive drives, putting points on the board. The first one came from a big 61-yard pick six. And now the Indians give the ball back to a dangerous Golden Eagle offense. There was a flag on the play all the way back at the 9-yard line. And it's going to be a holding call on St. Francis. So they're going to go ahead and accept that penalty. And that's going to force a repunt here from Lane Todd. So now the ball's all the way right inside the 5. And now it's a fourth down and 20. Wynn's going to be still at the midfield logo to return. The snap, the punt. This one's a much better punt. It's going to sail across midfield. It's going to be returnable for Wynn. Wynn takes it up the middle of the field, brings it to the near side. He's going to make it into Indian territory right across the 30-yard line, where he's going to be clobbered up here by number 10, Joel Gilliand of the Indians. And now Trego will get the ball back officially. That flag went in Trego's favor both times, and now it's going to be Golden Eagle football at the 29-yard line. So excellent field positioning on these last two drives for Trego. So we still have 40 seconds left in this first quarter. And so far, it's been all Trego Golden Eagles. St. Francis's first drive started off in really good field positioning, but was ruined by a pick six. So Trego's first play on this drive, it's going to be a shotgun. Two receivers left, one right. Motioning over is Aschenbrenner. They're going to give it to Aschenbrenner, far side. He's going to get the first down plus some more. Makes it across the 15-yard line to the 14, and it's going to be a first down and 10 for the Golden Eagles. Excellent run by Aschenbrenner on the end around. So the clock will stop at 34.2 seconds. As the Eagles in excellent field positioning, because now they'll run the clock. This might take us to the end of the first quarter unless Coach Pat Haxton decides to run another play. So this time there's going to be two men in the backfield with Wynn, one spread out to the right side. Wynn's going to fake it off to Connis. It's going to be an option play. Going to give it out to Aschenbrenner. Lowers his shoulder across the 10, but Lane Todd wraps him up around the shoelaces. But Aschenbrenner's still pushing forward, and they're going to call him out at the 4-yard line. Tough running by Aschenbrenner. You thought Lane Todd had him down there around the 10-yard line, but Aschenbrenner kept those feet moving and add some extra play. It's going to be just short of a first down, I think, and that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. It's a 14-0 ball game here. Trego on top of the St. Francis Indians, and we'll take a break. We'll be back with the second quarter. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time boosters, Wakini Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Wakini Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason. A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles.
And welcome back. A first quarter dominated by the Golden Eagles, 14-0, and they're still inside the 10 or even inside the 5, just barely with this first down and goals. They did give it the first down. Story of the first half, 61 rushing yards from Trego and only 5 from St. Francis, as St. Francis was forced to punt the ball twice on 3 possessions. Their first possession had excellent field positioning inside the red zone, and ultimately flags backed them up, and a pick 6 came from Vladen Crawford to put the first score on the board. So Trego with the first play of the second quarter. It's going to be Ashton Wynn under center at the 5-yard line. Connis in the backfield. They're going to give it right up the middle for Connis. Connis is going to be tackled just inside the 3-yard line, and it's going to be a second down and goal now here for the Golden Eagles. Between Connis and Aschenbrenner, it's been a tough time on defense for St. Francis so far. And even Ashton Wynn, he's had a good night with the other score for the Golden Eagles. So ball down at just outside of the 2-yard line. Here is a rush by Wynn. He's going to be just short of the first down, of the touchdown. It's going to be a 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line as we have an update from a score in Hill City. That's a 14-8 ball game. Hill City is winning over La Crosse as that's in the first quarter with 4:36 left. And thank you to our Hill City supporters for sending in some scores just to Trego's neighbors to the north on 283, the Hill City Ringnecks. Ringnecks having a good season. They're 7-1, and that's a team that their only loss came to this Trego Golden Eagle team. And they might meet each other here in a couple weeks. Wynn under center, going to give it off to Conness, and I thought there was a little movement before, and there was. It's going to be Laundry on the field, and it's going to be a false start on Trego, going to back him up some yardage. But like I was saying, Hill City, 7-1. Their only loss comes to this undefeated Trego team. And these two teams, Mid-Continent League rivals, they could play each other in a couple weeks, depending if both of those teams can win 2 games in a row. As it's still a 14-0 ball game, as the Golden Eagles are still trying to punch in this drive as they had a 1st down and goal from the 5, 2nd down and goal from the 3, 3rd down and goal at the 1. And that false start penalty backs him up all the way to the 6-yard line where it's going to be an I formation for Wynn. 3-man defensive front for St. Francis. Wynn with the snap. They're going to give it right up the middle for Conness. Conness makes it just inside the 5 where it's going to be a 4th down and goal, as this could be a huge defensive stand for the Indians. So if you're Coach Pat Haxton, do you go ahead and give it back to Conness? Do you spread it out, or do you throw the ball? If I had to guess, I would probably think they're going to go take it to the far side of the field with that option play that they've been running all night to perfection. St. Francis's defense looking for a big stop to keep this a 2-possession ball game. Wynn's under the center. It's going to be given faked off to Conness. He's going to throw it. It's going to be intercepted. St. Francis across the 20, intercepted by, that is Lane Todd of St. Francis, and the Indians come up with the stop that they need, and that is the 5th interception on the season coming from Ashton Wynn. Lane Todd comes up with it, and the Indians are going to have the ball at the 21-yard line in Trego Golden Eagles side of the field. So Todd picks up his 2nd interception on the year, as he had 1 before tonight. A big interception, that is. So now Martinez is going to be in the shotgun. He's going to take it on the bootleg to the right side. Flag comes down in the backfield as he's going to trudge his way forward across the 25 to about the 27. And this one might be coming back. For where the flag was thrown, it probably most likely is a holding, and it will. So it's going to back St. Francis up, as they had an excellent chance at some yardage there to have it a 2nd down and maybe 6 yards, but now they're back at a 1st down and 20. So now down at the 11-yard line, Martinez in the shotgun. He's back to pass. Actually, this is Todd, I believe. Todd's going to take it and run with it, but a swarm of Golden Eagles are there to stop him. So the Indians kind of running with Todd and Martinez as the quarterbacks tonight, as this was a tough run, but ultimately swallowed up by, I think that was Aschenbrenner of the Golden Eagles. And now it's a 2nd down and call it 18 after a gain of 2. Aschenbrenner, 44 tackles on the season. Back to passes Martinez this time. He's going to lob one up to the near side. It's going to be caught. No, it's going to be incomplete. I thought Fromholtz had it as if he did, he would have been right into Golden Eagle territory, but that's going to be incomplete. Excellent defense there by the Golden Eagles, number 26. That is actually 28. That's Darius Brown, a 5'9 senior on the coverage, and now it's a 3rd down and 18 for St. Francis. As Trego's defense looking for a big stop. St. Francis has punted the ball twice in this contest so far. They need to get all the way up to the 31-yard line for a 1st down. Back to passes Martinez. He's going to get sacked inside the 10 at the 6-yard line, as this sack appears to be by Jared Aschenbrenner of the Golden Eagles. We'll take a look back at it, as that offensive line, that defensive end, that's Aschenbrenner over there that made a quick play, and they're going to force St. Francis to punt for the 3rd time tonight, as a dangerous Ashton Wynn back at the midfield, Golden Eagle to return. I believe this is Lane Todd back to punt for St. Francis. Here's the snap. Todd with the punt, rolling end over end, hits midfield. It's going to be picked up by Wynn and returned into St. Francis territory, where he's going to take it to, call it the 32-yard line, and that's where the Golden Eagles are going to start off with this possession on the game. So 1st down and 10, 7:38 left in this 2nd quarter. Ball down at the 32-yard line as 2 touchdowns from Trego is where it's came so far. A pick 6 early in the 1st quarter by Crawford, and Wynn rushing one inside the red zone. 1st down and 10 for the Golden Eagles at the 32. Wynn's back to pass. He's going to throw it off to the left. It's going to be caught. This is going to be for a 1st down just inside the 20. Call it at the 19-yard line, as that was Jack Connis with another reception. That's his 2nd of the night, and it's going to be a fresh set of downs for the Golden Eagles. Jack Connis, tonight he's been a dual threat all season. He's been a big rushing attack threat for the Golden Eagles tonight. They're throwing the ball to him, as he was the only one that Wynn could have got the ball aired out to and got some yardage off of it. 1st down and 10 from the 19. Got to get to the 9-yard line for a 1st down. Wynn's going to be in the shotgun, as they're going to spread out Crawford and Aschenbrenner. Connis is going to stay in the backfield alongside Wynn. Here's a snap. Wynn looking to pass to his right. He's going to roll out through the pocket across the 20. He's going to take off with it inside the 10-5. Touchdown, Golden Eagles. Ashton Wynn with his 2nd rushing touchdown tonight, as it was a pass play, but he didn't see anybody open. So what do? You take off with it. You score 6 on your own. Good blocks, and Ashton Wynn continues this excellent season, as he had 468 yards rushing before tonight with 11 touchdowns. He's at 13 touchdowns on the season now. 20-0. Golden Eagles, as Wynn's going to be under center with Connis and Aschenbrenner in the backfield in the I formation for this 2-point conversion. Right up the middle, it's going to be for Connis. Connis breaks a couple tackles, still fighting for it, but he's going to get swallowed up in the backfield, and it's going to be a no-good 2-point conversion. So it will stay 20-0. Trego here in this 1st round of 8-man Division I playoffs. We'll be back here in just a sec. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
Welcome back, everybody. 20-0 Golden Eagles over the St. Francis Indians in the first week of playoffs. As I want to take a little bit of time to mention our Game Time major sponsors, as Nex-Tech Game Time is brought to you by the Hayes Rec, Nex-Tech Wireless, Mason Miller, Redeem Designs, High Plains Podiatry, Phillips County Hospital, and of course, Nex-Tech. So 20-0 Trego so far, 2 rushing touchdowns on offense coming from Ashton Wynn. His 12th and 13th on the season, and a pick 6 from Crawford early in the first quarter is how we have gotten these 20 points. As Trego 1 for 3 on their 2-point conversions, one of them coming from Conness, who's having a good night tonight, whether it's on the ground or through the air. His Wynn's going to be back to kick at the 30-yard line. St. Francis will let it soar through the end zone for another touchback. As St. Francis, they've kind of been struggling on offense. This Trego community defense has been holding them up well here through the first quarter and a half, as there's 6:59 left in this first half. So the Indians kind of running with 2 different quarterbacks. You have Lane Todd, and of course you have Zylas Martinez. Martinez getting more of the reps, but it's Lane Todd who will be back there if they're more than likely going to run the ball. So ball down at the 15 after the touchback. First down and 10 here for the Indians. They're going to spread 2 out to the right. So now in the shotgun, this is Todd, who's going to take it right up the middle. Going to break 1 tackle, push forward, puts his shoulder down, and the ball's on the ground. Trego says they have it, and so do the refs. And it's going to be the second turnover on the Indians on offense tonight. This time, it's going to be recovered, or a fumble recovery, as this one was stripped out by, guess who? Ashton Wynn. Wow, he did it all. He stripped it out. He recovered it. As that's his 4th fumble recovery on the season. And he had 4 caused fumbles throughout the year before that. So 5 caused fumbles now for Ashton Wynn and 2 recovered. So it appears that, I think that's Lane Todd who's kind of walking off the field without his helmet with the coach. So Trego just playing the football that they've played all year long. Strong offense, but a tougher defense. As like we kind of mentioned a little bit earlier before, Trego's defense has only allowed 14 points a game and has caused several turnovers along the way. 1 receiver each way now for Wynn after the turnover. He's going to be back to pass. He's going to take it with wide open space to the right. He's going to try to cut back in, but he's going to get taken down right inside the 15-yard line to the, call it the 12-yard line, and that's going to move the chains once again. Wynn is having an excellent night on both sides of the field. 2 touchdowns, a caused fumble, a fumble recovery. So far, he's got 45 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground, but he's also passed the ball for 21 yards. 66 total yards tonight for Wynn, whether it's through the air or on the ground. So at the 12-yard line, first down and 10. Conness going to be in the backfield. Aschenbrenner and Sampson spread out as the receivers. It's going to be a pitch off to Conness. He's now inside the 10, where he's going to be staying on his feet and just inside the 5, close to the end zone. And it's going to be down at the 1-yard line. He broke a couple tackles. I thought he was down just inside the 5, right about here. But he just keeps on moving the feet. We've seen that all year. We've covered 2 Trego games throughout the regular season, and that's one thing we learned is that man, Jack Conness, he's going to keep his feet moving until he hears that whistle blows, and that's one of those times. So now it's a first down and goal here for the Golden Eagles at the 1-yard line. So let's see if the St. Francis Indians can come up with a big stop here on this first down and goal. They did it last time with a interception from Lane Todd, ultimately ending up in a turnover on offense, and a false start is going to be called on Trego on the motion, or illegal motion. Coach Haxton going out there to ask the question of why it was called. So that'll back him up all the way to the 6. There's a loss of 5 on the flag. I don't think it changes Trego's game plan too much, as now it's going to be Crawford alongside Cass Smith out to the left, and there's going to be a timeout called, our first one of the night, on Trego. So Coach Haxton going to change up the play call most likely. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Wakini Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Wakini Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
Welcome back, everybody. Nex-Tech Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1. It is a 20-0 ball game as Trego with this first down and goal from the 6. Ashton Wynn with 2 rushing touchdowns on the night. As an excellent offensive performance as we've seen all night from these Golden Eagles, who have averaged an excellent 48 points per game, as they're well on their way to matching that average. So here at the 6-yard line, the Golden Eagles are already out there after a timeout called by Coach Haxton. As St. Francis, they've been in this situation before inside the 10-yard line where they came up with the interception. Let's see if they can do it again and keep this a 3-score ball game. But if not, 4 scores would be a huge difference. 2 receivers left. Wynn's going to pitch it off to Connis. Connis going to make a move inside the 5. He's going to get taken down just short of the orange paint. And it's going to be a 2nd down and goal now. So we got a score update from Hill City, 28-8. The Ringnecks over the Leopards of La Crosse here in the second quarter. As the Ringnecks up by 20 as the neighbors of the north to Trego. They're 7-1. Only loss coming from the Golden Eagles, like I said before. Here's this 2nd down and goal. Motioning is Smith. Wynn's going to take it on the QB sneak, and he's going to get in right in front of his lineman. And that makes it a 4-touchdown lead. His 3rd rushing touchdown on the game, Ashton Wynn. The old-fashioned quarterback sneak from the 1-yard line. 26-0 Golden Eagles over the Indians here. And the 2-point conversions haven't been in the favor of the Eagles tonight, only converting 1 of the 3 attempted. Let's see if they can make it 50%. 1 receiver each way for Wynn. Connis in the backfield. Wynn's going to be back to pass. Rolls left. Cuts it back right. He has space. He's going to pitch it out, and it's going to be good. It's going to be Aaron Sampson who gets the pitch and puts it in for 2. So 28-0. The Golden Eagles over the Indians has an excellent decision from Wynn to pitch it off. And it's going to be a 4-touchdown lead for the Golden Eagles, 28-0. The Golden Eagles are having an excellent night on offense tonight. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles.
And welcome back. Ashton Wynn puts in his 3rd rushing touchdown tonight, as this time he pitches it off to Sampson for the successful 2-point conversion. It's 28-0 Trego over St. Francis here in the 8-man Division I playoffs. This is only week 1. Winner of this will take on either Kinsley or Kiowa County. And Kiowa County are the ones that host the state championship later in the year. The kickoff is going to be caught at the 10 and returned to the far side. An excellent little return is going to get taken down right inside the 30. And this is where St. Francis's offense, the return was by Dayton Fromholtz. This is where St. Francis's offense needs to get points on the board, cut it down to a 3-scored lead as St. Francis will get the ball to start out the half, as we still have 5:18 left until we go to the locker rooms. But it'll be a first down and 10 from the 29-yard line. One receiver right, one receiver left. Martinez back to pass. He's going to have nowhere to go with it, as this tackle initially made by Christopher Gum, the 6'3 junior of Trego, and he's going to manage to get himself 1 yard on the rush from Martinez. So second down and 9 now for the Indians. So just past the 30-yard line, the Indians are going to try to make something out of this drive here to get themselves back into this ball game against this tough Golden Eagle team. It's going to be a pistol formation, one receiver out to the far side. Martinez going to give it off. This ball's on the ground again. It's another fumble. No call yet. It's Trego football. Wow. Who stripped this one? Christopher Gum was the one that got it. And it looked like it was Aschenbrenner who might have been the one that came up with the fumble. And man, that's 2 consecutive fumbles. I should say caused fumbles by Trego. That's just excellent job poking the ball out when you can and recovering it. And it's about the same part of the field that happened on the first time. So, wow, Trego's defense is coming in nice here. You talk about their offense so much, but you almost have to talk about their defense more or less in this contest. Having an excellent night. 2 recovered fumbles, 2 caused fumbles, a pick 6. They've done it all. So I formation for Wynn. He's going to give it off to Connis right up the middle. He's got a little bit of space, but no blockers in front. He's going to manage to push his way forward all the way up to the 17-yard line, where it's going to be a second down and 2 now. So we talk about the defense for Trego. They've had 10 fumble recoveries through the year. And a total of 10 interceptions. So make that 7 and 11 on the season in those stats respectively. Second down and 2 now. Wynn's going to be under center. Smith and Connis in the backfield. They're going to give it off to Connis after maybe a small bobbled snap. He's going to get the first down right to the 15-yard line. As that was Dylan Keller, number 78, on the stop for St. Francis. But Trego just keeps on moving the chains, keeping the ball on the ground. Haven't seen too much passing. We've seen Wynn drop back to pass, but mainly he's rushing out of it and taking off with himself. As 3 rushing touchdowns tonight with a first down and 10 now from the 15-yard line. 1 receiver each way. It's going to be a fake pass left. Going to be a hitch and go to the end zone. It's up to the corner. It's caught, but he's going to be out of bounds on the end zone. What a throw by Wynn. Might have been a little bit too much mustard behind it, but excellent catch out there. As that was Jack Connis just barely outside the corner of the end zone. So now second down and 10 from the 15. So the Golden Eagles are huddled up. Now they'll break it. St. Francis going to keep with their 3 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers. This time 1 receiver for Wynn spread out right. 2 men in the backfield, Smith and Connis. Wynn's going to take it himself once again. He gets across the 10 and he gets hit in the back and taken down at the 8-yard line, where it's going to be a third down. We'll call it the 8-yard line. It'll be call it a third down and 4. Third down and 4 for the Golden Eagles, down at the 8-yard line. St. Francis is going to keep on with the 3 men on the line of scrimmage. Actually, we'll make it 4. In the shotgun, 1 receiver right. Wynn's going to give it off to Connus. Ball's on the ground. Wynn picks it up. He's going to move forward for a couple yards. And it's going to be a 4th down now for Trego, as we'll call it a gain of 1. It'll be a 1st down and 3. .2:12 left in this first half. Trego with this 4th down and 3. St. Francis having a tough time keeping the Golden Eagles out of the end zone when they're inside the 10. Wynn's going to be in the shotgun with Smith and Connus in the backfield. Looks like Aschenbrenner spread out to the far side of the field. It's going to be another option play. Wynn is going to try to push forward, but he won't. He's going to be short of the 1st down, and it's going to be a turnover on downs from the Golden Eagles, and St. Francis is going to get the ball back inside the 10 in their own territory. So a 28-0 ball game. Trego on top. St. Francis just caused the Golden Eagles on a turnover on downs as they're down at the 6-yard line. 2 consecutive drives of the Indians have left on caused fumbles by the Trego defense, and both recovered by the defense as well. Martinez in the backfield, 2 receivers right, 1 left. He's going to be back to pass. It's going to be a quick throw, caught out there by Ethan Graham, where he's going to get maybe half a yard. Call it no gain. It's going to be a 2nd down and 10. So we'll call it no gain. It'll be a 2nd down and 10. Ball still down at the 6-yard line. So now 1 receiver out right. That's Fromholtz. In the backfield is Todd with Martinez. Martinez back to pass. It's going to be a quick pass. Caught by Graham. He's going to make it across the 10-yard line to the 11. Forced out of bounds there by the Golden Eagles, number 28, Darius Brown. 3rd down and 5 now coming up here for St. Francis. One receiver far side. Todd in the backfield in the pistol formation with Martinez. Another pass. Martinez fighting through the pocket. He's going to throw it to the near sideline. It's going to be up and incomplete. Intended for Graham, and a nice defensive play there by, once again, Darius Brown of Trego. And it's going to be a 4th down and 5. And if you're St. Francis, do you go ahead and go for it, being down 4 scores at the 5-yard, or excuse me, at the 10-yard line? Or do you go ahead and punt it off for the 5th time tonight? Looks like they're going to go ahead and punt it off. It's going to be Ashton Wynn to return. Lane Todd back there to punt around the 3-yard line. Todd, the snap, the punt. A low line drive across midfield. Going to take a St. Francis bounce to the 34-yard line. And that's where Trego is going to have their next drive of this game. As we'll take another time to talk about our Game Time major sponsors, the Hayes Rec, Nex-Tech Wireless, Mapes & Miller, Redeem Designs, High Plains Podiatry, Phillips County Hospital, and, of course, Nex-Tech. 28-0 ball game. Trego on top of St. Francis. Trego with another chance on offense, as they have excelled on the offensive side of the field, thanks to Ashton Wynn with 3 rushing touchdowns. 2 receivers left for Wynn in the shotgun. Connus in the backfield. 3-man defensive front for the Indians. Wynn's back to pass. He's going to roll out left, and he's going to get swallowed up by number 12, Dayton Fromholtz, with the sack for St. Francis. And that drops him. There is a flag on the play right where he was sacked. It's going to be a personal foul, a face mask on St. Francis, and that does not help the Indians' cause. So Coach Haxton will definitely accept it and take the yards. So it was accepted. They're going to move the ball up. And it's going to be another fresh set of chains. It's going to bring it into Indian territory. All the way up to the 31.5-yard line. So now in Indian territory, the Golden Eagles get sacked by the Indian defense, but a face mask was called late. .45 seconds left in this half. The Golden Eagles are wanting to score one more time. St. Francis will get the ball coming out of the locker room. But the Eagles want more points before they head in there. It's going to be a shotgun for Wynn. 2 receivers out left, 4-man offensive front, 3-man defensive front. Wynn's going to be back to pass once again. He's going to get taken down at the midfield logo, and that's going to be another sack, back-to-back sacks from St. Francis. And there's going to be a timeout taken by Coach Pat Haxton with 35 seconds left. We'll take a quick break. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech, Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Wakini Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Wakini Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
Welcome back, 28-0. Here with 35 seconds left in this half. The Golden Eagles want to score one more time before they take it into the locker room where St. Francis will get the ball coming out of that. And 2 consecutive sacks by St. Francis. The one before last was a face mask penalty on the Indians that brought them all the way up to the 31-yard line. But St. Francis comes back with another one. And now they're at the 39, or excuse me, the 39. 80-yard field in 8-man football. So Wynn's going to be the lone man in the backfield in the shotgun. It's going to be trips left. Looks like Connis, Ashenbrenner, and Crawford are the 3 out to the left. Motioning over is Ashenbrenner. They're going to fake it. It's going to be a pass from Wynn thrown right up the middle for Sampson, where it's caught on a laser beam inside the 25 to the 24. And it's going to be another timeout for the Golden Eagles. What a throw here by Wynn. Put it on a rope. Nice tackle there by the Indians as now Coach Pat Haxton takes that timeout as that stops the clock at 27 seconds. As now we got a 3rd down and 3 incoming here for the Golden Eagles. Excellent night on offense for the Eagles. Excellent night on defense for them as well. They've had a total of 3 turnovers on defense as St. Francis's offense just had nowhere to go tonight on either side of the field. Trego's dangerous offense has proved why they're undefeated and why they're top 3 in the state. One of the only 3 teams left in the state that have yet to lose. The other ones being Linden along with Cedarville Dexter, if I'm correct. So ball down at the 24-yard line, 3rd down and 3. Have to get to the 21-yard line. Like I said, 27 seconds left in this half. Wynn's going to be in the shotgun. Wynn's back to pass once again. He's going to throw it quickly out to Connis. Connis going to break a tackle inside the 20. First down inside the 10. Taken down at the 6-yard line. Trego's got to get to the ball quick as 21 seconds is stopped on the clock as they have to move the chains. As now they'll take it, and it'll be a spiked. It'll be spiked by Wynn. That will stop the clock at 18 seconds. Excellent pitch and catch there from Wynn to Connis. So it'll be a 2nd down and goal from the 6-yard line with 18.3 on the clock. a chance to make it a 5-possession game if they can put it past the orange stripe here. Coach Haxton out of timeouts. So it's either a quick play here and get it in the end zone, or if you don't, you got to get back to the ball quick and try to run another play. One man each side. Win, back to pass, quick out, throw is going to be caught, but are they going to say he's out of bounds? They are. They're going to stop the clock as that was caught by Crawford. And the clock will stop now with 13 seconds left on the clock at the 1-yard line, where it's going to be a 3rd down and goal. So Trego basically has to put this in the end zone or go out of bounds with it, but being at the 1-yard line, going out of bounds, basically impossible. Wynn's going to be under center. He had a QB sneak earlier for a touchdown at the 1. Let's see what he does again. He's going to do it right up the middle again. Touchdown, Golden Eagles. His 4th rushing touchdown tonight by Ashton Wynn. And what a night he's having, as that makes it a 34-0 ball game. Golden Eagles over the Indians here in this 8-man Division I first round of playoffs. Ashton Wynn, like I mentioned, 4 rushing touchdowns. He also has a caused fumble and a fumble recovery on defense. As Trego's obviously going to go for 2 in the I formation. Connis and Smith in the backfield. Smith the fullback, Connis is the tailback. They're going to give it a fake to Smith, and Wynn's going to take it himself. He's going to get all 8 points on this possession, and it's now 36-0 Waukene, as they have 11 seconds on the clock to kick it off to St. Francis, and we'll take a quick break before it. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
And welcome back. 36-0 Trego. Trego, 183 total offensive yards compared to 30 for St. Francis, and that's net yards. St. Francis only has 15 yards if you take away the penalties. And it's just been a rough sledding night for the Indians, but the Golden Eagles are rolling on all cylinders here as we have 11 seconds until halftime, as Wynn's going to kick it off from the 30 to Lane Todd. Most of them have went through the end zone, and this one does as well. Actually, back there was Wyatt Klinsman to return. So it's going to be a touchback. The Indians are going to have a chance to score. But with 11 seconds on the clock, do you just take this to half and go talk about things, or give it one more last shot to take it to the north end zone? It's going to be a shotgun for Martinez. Todd in the backfield, 1 receiver each side. Martinez back to pass. Martinez going to air it out to the near side of the field for Fromholtz. There's contact, and there's a flag. I think it's going to be on Trego's number 20. That's Weston Winholtz, 6'1" sophomore. There's a lot of contact. The ball was in the air to see what the and let's see what they're gonna call it. There was a lot of contact. I'm not sure if it was defensive or offensive, but the refs are going to gather around the 27-yard line and talk about it. They're picking it up. No flag. Maybe there was just enough fighting on both sides while the ball was in the air to call it a no flag. So now with 5 seconds left, the Indians have one more chance at it. Motioning over is Graham. Martinez in the shotgun. This snap goes to nobody. Wasn't ready for it. Todd jumps on it right at the 1 yard line, and that will take us to half. So they're going to call it down at the 1 yard line, but it doesn't matter. It's halftime, and it's going to be a 36-0 lead for the Golden Eagles here in the first round of playoffs over the Indians. And we'll be back with halftime stats here. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech, Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Wakini Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Wakini Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed, bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hazerec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time Boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you will be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Wakini Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Wakini Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids. That's why I rely on Bark. Built by parents, for parents. Bark's award-winning dashboard monitors text messages, emails, and over 30 different apps and platforms for potential safety concerns. Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles! Ready to step into comfort again? At High Plains Podiatry, Dr. Robert Hins has over 20 years of experience helping families across southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas stay on their feet. From heel pain to sports injuries to diabetic care and surgery, we're here to restore your stride. Don't live with foot pain. Call High Plains Podiatry today at 308-345-3773 to schedule your appointment.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed. Bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there. Because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hayesrec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
And welcome back to Waukene, Kansas for this 8-man Division I first round of playoffs, as we are here and Trego is winning 36-0 here at halftime over the Indians of St. Francis. Let's go through your stats for both sides. Let's start off with Trego, as they've had 9 first downs tonight, 28 attempts on the ground for 127 yards. They're averaging 4.5 yards per carry and 4 rushing touchdowns, all by one man, who we'll talk about here in just a little bit. They've had 9 passing attempts. 5 of those have been completed for 56 yards. No touchdowns through the air, but Ashton Wynn did have 1 interception. Total offensive yards, 183 yards for the Golden Eagles, as they're averaging just under 5 yards a play, 4.9 on the contest. Looking at St. Francis's side, only 1 first down in this contest, 14 attempts on the ground for only 11 yards. They're only averaging 0.8 yards on the ground every time they try to run the ball. 9 passing attempts, 33% through the air, as they've only completed 3 of them for 4 passing yards and a total of 15 offensive yards for the Indians, as they only average under a yard per play at 0.7. So now let's look at the stats, individual stats for Trego, starting off with Vladen Crawford, who started off tonight scoring with a 61-yard pick six. He's got a reception for 5 yards, and he's been targeted once. When it comes to Aaron Sampson, he's had 1 rush attempt for 3 yards, 1 reception for 15 on 1 target for a total of 18 yards. Ashton Wynn, 13 rushes for 49 yards. And like I mentioned earlier, he's the man that scored all 4 rushing touchdowns for the Golden Eagles with a total of 4. He's tried to throw the ball 9 times, completed 5 of them, and had 56 passing yards through this first half. And like I said, through that 1 interception, but he also had a fumble recovery and a caused fumble early in the game in the start of the second quarter. Jared Aschenbrenner, 2 rushes for 25 yards, as he also had a sack and a fumble recovery as well. And then Jack Connis, 11 rushes for 50 yards, 3 receptions for 36 yards on 3 targets. He's caught all 3 of his targets tonight. So now over for St. Francis's individual stats. Zylis Martinez, he's had 7 rushes, only for a netting of 2 yards. He's tried to throw the ball 9 times, only completed 3 of them for a total of 4 yards. He's got 6 total yards tonight. Ethan Graham, 3 receptions for 10 yards on 3 targets, total of 10 yards for him. He also had a sack on defense. And then Lane Todd, 5 rushes for 5 yards, just averaging 1 yard per carry. And he had an interception late in the second half as well. So on to the scoring drives. It's been all Trego. The first one was an interception, pick 6, a 61-yarder by Vladen Crawford of Trego. That started off the momentum for the Golden Eagles. And then from then on out, it was Ashton Wynn with a rushing touchdown. Ashton Wynn with another rushing touchdown, with Jack Connis completing the 2-point conversion. The first one was no good. Ashton Wynn with another rushing touchdown. Aaron Sampson put in that 2-point conversion on that late pitch. And then Ashton Wynn scored all 8 points, 2 rushing. One was a touchdown and the other one was a 2-point conversion. That brings us to where we're at. It's 36-0. Trego over St. Francis here in this game. 8-man Division I, Week 1 of playoffs. So we'll take a break. We'll be back with second half action here from Waukene. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech, Local 1.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hazerec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you'll be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time boosters, Waukene Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Waukene Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
Suicide is the second leading cause of death for kids. That's why I rely on Bark. Built by parents, for parents. Bark's award-winning dashboard monitors text messages, emails, and over 30 different apps and platforms for potential safety concerns. Hey, can we talk? Okay.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles. Ready to step into comfort again? At High Plains Podiatry, Dr. Robert Hins has over 20 years of experience helping families across southwest Nebraska and northwest Kansas stay on their feet. From heel pain to sports injuries to diabetic care and surgery, we're here to restore your stride. Don't live with foot pain. Call High Plains Podiatry today at 308-345-3773 to schedule your appointment.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed. Bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there. Because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hayesrec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time Boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Waukeeny Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Waukeeny Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason. A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles.
And welcome back, everybody, here to Waukeeny, a 36-0 lead for the Trego Golden Eagles over the St. Francis Indians, as this is the 8-man Division I playoffs, as the winner of this one will take on the winner of Kinsley and Kiowa County, Kinsley being the District 6 number 2 seed, and Kiowa County being the District 5 3 seed. Trego came out here as the 1 seed from District 7, and St. Francis is the 4 seed out of a tough District 8. We did have a score update for the Hill City game. That was Hill City winning 48-8. That was at halftime. As this one, the picture was at 8:25 left of the half, but it is a 42-8 lead for the Ringnecks. As that will be a game to watch maybe in a couple weeks if both teams can win their way through the first 2 games. Hill City and Trego would be a game to watch, that's for sure, as they've been in the past. But here tonight, Ashton Wynn has 4 rushing touchdowns on the night, and a pick 6 beginning the game for Vladen Crawford is how we started. And St. Francis, a net total of 15 yards on the game, compares to 186 from the Golden Eagles, and that's kind of the story of tonight's game is the yardage difference. And Trego's defense also has an interception and 2 fumble recoveries. Those 2 fumble recoveries coming on back-to-back drives. So St. Francis will begin with the ball to start off the second half. They're looking to start a little bit of momentum heading in here to the second half as this one flies over Wyatt Klinsman's head, and it's going to be at the 15-yard line after the touchback kick from Ashton Wynn. So the Golden Eagles, they've been playing some excellent defense tonight, excellent defense all year long, only holding opponents to 14 points a game through their first 8 contests. As it's going to be Martinez back at the quarterback for St. Francis. One receiver is going to be spread out to the left. 2 are going to be in the flex position off to the right. 4-man offensive front. 3 on defense for Trego. Layton Todd actually is going to be the one that takes the snap and goes nowhere as multiple Golden Eagles were surrounding him and took him down for no gain. So if you're Coach Weigers of St. Francis, what do you tell these Indians that are down 36-0 here in this first quarter? Do you tell them, I know one thing is keep your head up and keep playing football and try to gain some momentum, as that's exactly what they're trying to do here on this first drive of the half. 2 receivers right. Martinez back to pass. He's going to break 1 tackle but gets sacked at the 5-yard line as this sack by the Golden Eagles, number 28, I believe. I think that was Darius Brown. And now they're going to call it with forward progression up to the 8-yard line. That's about where he was first touched. So now it's a 3rd down and 18 now for the Indians, and they're just not having a good time on offense against this tough Trego Golden Eagle defense. 1 receiver each side here for Martinez in the shotgun with Lane Todd back behind him in the pistol. Todd will motion out to the near side in the slot position. 4-man offensive front. Martinez back to pass and a flag on the play thrown by the back judge. And this one appears to be on St. Francis. It's going to be an illegal motion. So that's going to be back down inside the 5 now with the 3-yard line after that loss of 5. 3rd down and 23. Kiowa County's on top of Kinsley 52-6. The announcer here just said. So here's Graham with the catch. He's going to fight for yards all the way up to the 15-yard line. So if both of these games keep going the way that they are, it appears that it might be a Kiowa County-Trego matchup here in Trego next week. And judging by that score, it could be a pretty good one. Kiowa County comes in with a 5-3 record according to my sheet. As here's the punt from St. Francis, going to give it back to the Golden Eagles. Here's a high one. It's not going to quite make it past midfield. It's going to be down at the 34-yard line. As Trego's going to start off with good field positioning in Indian territory, as this dangerous offense of the Golden Eagles is going to come out. As St. Francis still trying to find that cure to stop Ashton Wynn, Jack Connis, and even Jared Ashenbrenner for that matter. So fresh set of downs on this first drive of the second half for the Golden Eagles. Wynn's going to be under center in the I formation. Connis is the tailback. Smith is the fullback. They're going to give it to Smith. Smith's going to fight forward for maybe a couple yards. It's going to be a 2nd down incoming in 8 yards. You don't hear a lot from Cass Smith on offense. He's kind of that blocking fullback, but Coach Haxton gave him the number on this play, and he managed to get a couple yards out of it. So 2nd down and we'll call it a long 7 for Trego. I formation as they're going to bring out Crawford as the receiver to the right side. This time Aschenbrenner as the fullback. It's going to be Wynn who is going to give it to Aschenbrenner, but he decides to take it right up the middle himself for another couple yards. 3rd down and 5 now incoming. So the Golden Eagles on this 3rd down and 5, they got to get to the 24-yard line for the first down as they're down at the 29. They're going to spread things out, one receiver each side. Connis going to stay in the backfield with Wynn in the shotgun. Wynn back to pass, quick throw. It's going to be caught and out of bounds for a first down. This one caught by number, can't quite see the number from in here. As that's number 28 for Trego. That's Darius Brown with a catch tonight. So a fresh set of downs. They're going to move the chains. It's going to be at the 21-yard line over there on the left hash with 8:19 left in this 3rd quarter. Shotgun. They're going to give it off. It's going to be Connis. Spins his way off of a couple defenders. Still moving forward. Wow, he just keeps on moving. He doesn't stop till that whistle blows, and that might be a first down. It should have been stopped for a second down and maybe even 10. But, man, he just kept moving his feet. So now that's going to be a first down and goal right at the 10-yard line here for Trego as the clock will run at 8 minutes on the dot here in this 3rd quarter. Trego needs this score and then maybe one more to make it a 45 rule, but they will need to get this one in the end zone first. It's going to be a handoff, this one to Connis, but he goes nowhere, maybe just past the 10-yard line. It'll be a 2nd down and goal now. So I just got a score update for Atwood in Wichita County. Wichita County is beating them, I think he said 40-6. 40-6, Wichita County over Rollins County. Here's a pass. It's going to be caught over here by Darius Brown at the 5-yard line. They're trying to strip it out, but they can't. He's going to be down at the 5-yard line where it's going to be a 3rd down and goal. Quinter over Hoxie, 34-30 is another score update. Credit to the press box of Trego getting all these scores for our area towns. We greatly appreciate that. It helps us out, and I'm sure the fans appreciate it to know, so they can know what's going on other than here in Waukene. 3rd down and goal from the 5. Wynn is going to pull it. He's going to get tripped up in the backfield. That's Fromholtz with a huge stop. And now it's going to be a 4th down and goal as they lose yardage back to the 9-yard line. And St. Francis's defense trying to come up with a big stop here in the 3rd quarter. They need 9 yards to the orange paint and one more chance at it. Ball is going to be down at the left hash. Shotgun. And a tight end both sides. Wynn back to pass. He's going to take off right up the middle. He's going to make it just inside the 5, but he's not going to make it. And it's going to be another turnover on downs for the Trego Golden Eagles. And St. Francis is going to get the ball at the 4-yard line for their 2nd possession of this half. As they just haven't really had good field positioning on any of their drives other than the first drive of the contest, which they had promised. They were moving the ball up the field, and then there was a flag. It brought them back, and then they threw a 61-yard pick six. So Lane Todd's going to be back in the shotgun. He's going to take it himself right up the middle. He's got a little bit of space. He makes it across the 10, the 15, and he's going to get taken down by two Golden Eagle defenders at the 19-yard line. That was Martinez. So a first down, their second first down of the night, and maybe St. Francis can get a little bit of momentum going to get some points on the scoreboard. As this Trego Golden Eagles defense has held them to nothing so far. So first down and 10 from the 19 for St. Francis. Martinez in the shotgun. One receiver out to the far side. Here's the snap. Martinez going to take it again right up the middle. And this time goes nowhere, maybe for a gain of half a yard. It's going to stay as a second down and 10. So Cass Smith with the defensive stop, the leading tackler for the Trego Golden Eagle defense. Fromholtz is going to be the receiver out to the near side of the field. Pistol formation here for Martinez and Todd. Martinez back to pass, throws it. It's going to be high, and it's going to be almost caught for an interception. It would have been his second of the night if he would have came up with it, and what a great catch it would have been, as that was Vladen Crawford, the freshman, who almost came down with his second interception on the night. 5:31 and stopped on the clock. Third down and 10 for St. Francis. No receivers outspread this time. Todd's going to be the one to get the snap. Todd's going to follow his blockers, but he's going to get stuffed right at the 20-yard line for a gain of maybe 1 yard, and it's going to be a fourth down and 9 for the Indians. So they have punted several times tonight. I think have counted 6 punts tonight. 5 or 6, I believe, is what they're at. Oberlin 46, Ellis 8 is another updated score. We saw Oberlin and Hill City last week, where Hill City 45, the Red Devils. Here's a punt. No one back there to return. It's going to take a nice St. Francis roll all the way up to the 22-yard line, and that's where Trego will have their second possession of this second half. So like we mentioned, we had Hill City and Decatur Community last week in Hill City here on Nex-Tech Game Time. Hill City won that one. I think it was 46-0. The Ringnex handed the Red Devils their second loss of the season. As the Ringnex 7-1, like I mentioned earlier, their only loss to this Golden Eagles of Trego, who are undefeated on the year, and they're proving tonight why they are undefeated. First down and 10 from the 22-yard line. One receiver each way for Wynn, as Connis is in the backfield with him. The snap, back to pass. Wynn throws it to a slipping receiver. That was Jared Aschenbrenner, who was intended to. And it's going to be a second down and 10, as Aschenbrenner will come out and Cass Smith will run back out. I bet that means they're going to have an I formation offensive play here. As Cass Smith, kind of that lead blocker for Connis. I was wrong. They're going to have Smith and Connis in the backfield in the shotgun formation. It's going to be given off to Connis, who's going to break one, break two. He's going to keep moving his feet, gets the first down, and wrapped around the ankles around the 35-yard line, where Trego will get the chains moved for a fresh set of downs. Just tough running from Jack Connis. Tackle made by St. Francis's number 21. That's Lane Todd. Connis now up to 76 yards. He needed 112 yards tonight to break that 1,000-yard mark on the season. They're going to give it back to him. He's going to cut it back to the left side. He's got a block from Wynn, and Connor sinks it all the way up forward for a first down, and what a block by the quarterback, Ashton Wynn. Man, watch this. He cuts back. There's Wynn, and bang. Wow, what a block. Wow. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns. He's got a fumble caused, a fumble recovery, and a pancake block. First down and 10 for the Golden Eagles. High formation, Wynn under center. 1 receiver left. They're going to fake it to the fullback. Wynn's going to take it himself across the 25 to the 24, where it's going to be a second down and 7. Call it a long 6. So Coach Haxton bringing in the play call is now we're at 3:07 and ticking left in this third quarter. Third quarter going by pretty quick, a lot of running. 1 receiver out left. It's going to be a shotgun with both tailbacks to each side of Wynn. 4-man front offensively and defensively. There's a flag, and it might be a false start as they call the play dead, and it is. So that's going to bring it back, make it a second down and 12 yards. Or long 11, whichever one you prefer. Ball down now at the 29. So Crawford will be the receiver out to the far side. Both tailbacks to each hip of Wynn. Wynn's going to hand it off to Connis. He's got space and speed at 10-5. Touchdown. Jack Connis with a huge 29-yard rushing touchdown. And that's going to make it 42-0 Trego. Good blocks in front from the Golden Eagles, leading the way for Connis. He gets his first rushing touchdown tonight. As he now has 18 rushing touchdowns on the season. And he's at 118 yards. And that puts him right at 1,000 yards on the season, according to my stats. The handoff, it's going to go back to Connis, and he's going to get all 8 points on this drive. It's 44-0 Trego, and they're knocking on the door of closing this one out early as St. Francis is going to get the ball back. And it's been all Golden Eagles here in this playoffs. This is a final score from the Hill City to the neighbors of the North, 56-8. Hill City over the Leopards of La Crosse, as Hill City will move on. If we take a quick look at our bracket, if possible, Hill City is going... Hill City will play either Oxford or Sublette. One of those two teams down there in the bottom right. Oxford 6-1 out of District 5 is the 2 seed, and Sublette 6-2 out of the District 6 number 3 seed. That game will be played in Hill City next Friday. And then this game will be back here in Trego, where it's most likely going to be the Golden Eagles taking on Kiowa County back here in Waukene. So what a night of high school 8-man football. Is, I believe 8-man are the only ones that played tonight here on Thursday. The rest of the brackets between Division II, 1A through 6A will all be played tomorrow. So a lot of football action to keep an eye on out tomorrow and even the rest of tonight. So here's the kick. It's going to be from Ashton Wynn from the 30. As Klinsman back to return, he's going to let it go through the end zone for another touchback. I think every single kickoff has been a touchback, maybe other than one. And that would have been the opening kickoff. Or the first kickoff, I should say, from Trego. So it'll be a first down and 10 from the 15, as that's where the ball is placed after a touchback. 3-man defensive front is what the Golden Eagles are coming out with. 4-man offensive front for the Indians. 5-man, excuse me. 1 receiver each side. It's going to be Martinez motioning over Todd. Excuse me, that's Fromholtz. It's going to be an air out pass. It's going to be up and deflected, incomplete. This one deflected by Trip Hudson, a 6'1 sophomore for Trego. Good defense there, as we're seeing some sophomores and freshmen in the game now for Trego, being up 44-0, getting them some experience out on the green grass. There's one freshman we've mentioned plenty tonight, and that's Bladen Crawford. Had a 61-yard pick six and plenty of time on both sides of the ball. 1 receiver near side here for the Indians. The snap, it's going to be Martinez taking it to the right side, cuts it back in, but he's going to get taken down. He's going to get a few yards. It's going to be a 3rd down and 4. So 3rd down and 4 now here for the Indians. Dang. 1 receiver out far side here for Martinez in the shotgun. Martinez with pressure, takes off with it. He's going to fight forward, dive for a first down. And he's right on the first down marker, the ref on the other side. He puts it right behind the line of the 25-yard line. And I think they're going to call out for a measurement. I mean, this one was close. I thought maybe he got it after the second effort in the dive. Yep, they're going to give him the first down. I think the refs got together and they were talking about, one saw the dive. The ref on the far side of the field had it right at the first down, and the other one had it a little bit shorter. So they went ahead and gave the first down to Martinez, and it's going to be a 1st down and 10 now here from the 25. 1:36 left in this 3rd quarter, and the clock is ticking. 2 receivers far side. Todd in the slot, Fromholtz out wide. Shotgun for Martinez. He's going to take it on the quarterback draw to the left side. Has blocks. He's going to move forward all the way up to the 30-yard line, where it's going to be a 2nd down and 5 now here for the Indians. Had some pretty good blocks up front to help him get those few yards. As now the Indians are starting to get a little bit of ball movement on the offensive side, as it could be Trego possibly has some younger kids in. 2nd down and 5, shotgun. No receivers out wide this time. It's going to be Martinez once again on the quarterback draw. This time he's taken down on a hard hit right at the 30-yard line. And they're going to spot him for forward progress 1 yard. It'll be a 3rd down and 4. As that was a big hit. Can't quite see exactly who it was who made the hit. Whoever's on the bottom of that pile, but they gave him forward progress for a gain of 1. It'll be a 3rd down and 4 now for the Indians. I don't think they have been across into Trego territory since their first drive of the game, where it started in their territory. Here's a pass from Martinez. Martinez is going to get taken down for a sack and a loss of yardage. And I think this sack is going to be rewarded to Aaron Sampson. We'll take a look back at it. Oh, Sampson, that's going to be number 3. And I think they'll give it a half sack each. That was Trip Hudson along with Aaron Sampson. As that takes us to the end of the 3rd quarter, it's 44-0 Trego. but St. Francis with a little ball movement. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Heart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
And welcome back. It's St. Francis football with a 4th down and 8 after a big sack split by Hudson and Sampson, as Martinez unable to go anywhere on that. So now we're in our final 12 minutes of this first round, 8-man Division I playoffs here in Waukene. I think it's safe to say that Waukene will be back here in their home field tomorrow taking on Kiowa County. We don't have an update on the Kiowa County game, but they were winning by quite a margin a little while ago when we were checking. 4th down and 8 here for St. Francis. One receiver each side, as Martinez is going to be in the shotgun with a 5-man front. A 3-man defensive front for the Golden Eagles now. Here comes a blitz. It's going to be a screen pass thrown and incomplete. Intended for Klinsman. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. And Trego has a chance to close out the game if they can put it past the orange paint, as they will start off this possession at the 27-yard line. And that's all they need to take it home with a chance to play next Friday. Shotgun here. It's going to be Wynn. 2 tailbacks at each hip. Crawford spread out left. It's going to be a handoff. It's going to be Connis, right side. He's got space and speed inside the 10-5. Touchdown, Jack Connis. And that's going to do it. Trego going to win this ball game 50-0. And they're moving on to regionals next Friday back here in Waukene. Jack Connis with a big 27-yard rush to close out the game. Trego only needed one play on this drive to take things home. St. Francis is going to go home empty-handed with a score of 50-0. So like I said, Trego will come back here next Friday and more than likely take Kiowa County on. We don't have a final score on that game, but we will do some looking here after a timeout and see if we can find some official scoring. But for now, it's a 50-0 ball game. Trego over St. Francis early in the first quarter. So we'll be back with post-game stats and scoring here from Nex-Tech as you're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
Nex-Tech Wireless has been offering superior coverage to Kansans for close to 20 years. My, how things have changed. Bringing us to modern technology we trust and depend on. Rain or shine, wind or snow, we'll be there because we live here too. We're investing in our communities and connecting Kansans. It's not a gimmick, it's our guarantee.
No matter who you are, the Hayes Rec Commission is for you. There's leisure programs for all ages. There's a wellness center that works for anyone at any level. Youth and adult sports, aquatics, and great facilities for any event. Go to hazerec.org to see the list of activities and sign up. Here are some of the upcoming activities.
We're still having fun. Hayes Rec's the one. We are still the one.
A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Heart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year.
Here at Mapes & Miller, we take care of your finances, allowing you time to take care of your business, farm, and personal lives. We offer financial services, including tax prep, bookkeeping, payroll, and auditing. We offer services to farmers, ranchers, small businesses, and more. By coming to us, you will be able to spend more time at your business and with your families. It's not what you make, it's what you keep.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time Boosters, Wakini Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Wakini Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.
Across Northwest Kansas, families rely on more than just good neighbors. They count on trusted care. At Phillips County Health Systems, we serve our communities with one mission: patient-centered excellence. From emergency services to specialty care, we provide comprehensive, high-quality health care focused on you. Phillips County Health Systems, caring for our region, centered on you.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles.
Welcome back to Wakini, 50-0. The Golden Eagles move on to play next Friday back here at their home turf in Wakini as St. Francis goes home empty-handed, unable to put any points on the board against this tough Trego High School Golden Eagles team. Let's go through stats for both sides. Let's start off with the Golden Eagles. They had 13 first downs, 40 attempts on the ground for 232 yards. They averaged 5.8 yards on the ground and had a total of 6 touchdowns on the ground. And when it comes to the passing, there was 12 attempts, 7 completions, 69 passing yards, and only 1 interception was thrown by Ashton Wynn. They had a total of 52 plays for a total of 301 yards on the game. They averaged 5.8 yards per play. And like I said, only had that 1 turnover, as they had 2 third down conversions out of attempted 7 third down conversions, had a 4th down conversion out of 5 attempts there as well. So back up to St. Francis. They had 3 first downs on the contest, 24 attempts on the ground for 31 yards, 1.3 yards per play. Had 13 passing attempts, only 3 completions through those 13 for 14 yards. They had a total of 37 plays and only a total of 60 total yards on the contest, as they averaged 1.2 yard per play. They went 1 for 9 on third down, went 11% on third down, and then on fourth downs, they were unable to convert a single 4th down, 0 for 8 for 0%. When it comes to individual stats, starting off with the Golden Eagles, Vladen Crawford had a reception for 5 yards on his only target of the contest, and also had that 61-yard pick 6 in the beginning of the game to start off the scoring. For Aaron Sampson, he had 1 rush attempt for 3 yards, 1 reception off of 1 target for 15 yards, gave him a total of 18 yards on the game. Let's go to Jack Connis, who had 19 rushing attempts for 150, getting him over the century mark of 1,000 on the season. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. One of them was the one to close it out. Had 3 receptions for 36 yards, and off of 3 targets, he had a total of 186 yards tonight. 25 total yards coming from Jared Aschenbrenner, as he had 2 rushes for 25 yards. Also had a sack and a fumble recovery on defense. Darius Brown in the second half alone had 2 receptions for 13 receiving yards and 2 targets. Your player of the game tonight, though, is going to be Ashton Wynn, as he had 17 rushes for 54 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. But also through the air, he threw the ball 12 times, completing 7 of those passes for 69 yards, but he did throw that one interception. And he also had a caused fumble that he recovered himself as well. So he had an excellent game on both sides of the field, and we'll give him your player and a pancake block for that matter. I mean, he did lay a pretty good block that helped Jack Connis get some yards on one of those plays. When it goes over to St. Francis's side, it was Silas Martinez, the quarterback, who had 14 rushing attempts for 28 yards, as he averaged 2 yards per rush. He had 13 passing attempts, only completing 3 of those passes for 14 yards, for a total of 42 yards on the contest. Ethan Graham, 3 receptions, 10 yards on 3 targets. He also had a sack on defense. And then Lane Todd had 8 rushing attempts for a total net of -1 yards, but he also had an interception there in the second quarter. So Trego 50, St. Francis 0. That's your final here tonight. We will be back here next Friday on Nex-Tech Game Time, where Trego will play the winner of Kiowa County. Presumably it was Kiowa County, as they were up big time over Kinsley, but we're not totally sure on that. I do have some score updates from the last thing we heard. It was Leota over Atwood, 30-6. Quinter over Hoxie with 9 minutes left in the fourth, 42-36. So that's a game to watch tonight. Hill City defeated La Crosse 56-8 in the third quarter, and then Oberlin over Ellis 54-8. So like I said, we will be back here Friday night for Trego against presumably Kiowa County for the regional matchup. And thinking about the bracket here, the winner of that one will take on the it would be either Hill City or the winner of Oxford and Sublette. And we don't have an update on Oxford or Sublette games, so we'll see what happens there. But we will see you next Friday night. Want to give a big thank you to the camera people, Carter Musolin, also Christina Bixaman, our producer down below in the van. That's Jason Pearson. And then, of course, our statistician, Brendan Stoltz, who his father was unable to be here. You've probably heard him all year, but Brendan took up the courage to come up here and help out with stats, which I greatly appreciate. I am Tate Reynolds here with Nex-Tech. That's going to close things out here for Trego as they win 50-0 here on Nex-Tech Game Time. As like I said, we'll see you next Friday back here in Waukene. So thanks everyone for watching tonight. Hope everyone has a great night and drives home safe. You're watching Game Time on Nex-Tech Local 1.
A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagle Game Time Boosters, Solutions North Bank, Day Motorsports, Nutri and Ag. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego community students and athletes. Go Fight Win from Pit Road Liquor, Pizza Hut, and Pathway Ag. These boosters are cheering on the Trego Golden Eagles as they battle their way through the postseason. Good luck, Eagles. A special thanks to these St. Francis Indian Game Time boosters, Agent Heating and Cooling, and St. Francis Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the St. Francis students and athletes. Go Fight Win from the Hart Gallery at 202 on Washington, Ranch Foods Direct, and Professional Fire Equipment. Longtime supporter of Nex-Tech Game Time. They're rooting for all area schools to have a great year. A special thanks to our Trego Community Golden Eagles Game Time boosters, Waukene Animal Hospital, Outdoor Bank, Trego Recreation Commission, and Waukene Ready Mix. These proud supporters stand behind the Trego students and athletes. Go Fight Win from First Federal Bank, a branch of Alliance Federal Bank, Shiloh Vineyards, Prairie Rose Inn, and Rosie's Barn Grill. These boosters are rooting for the Trego Golden Eagles. Good luck in postseason.